Now you're about to see the difference that having proper glass makes when compared to digital post enhancements using computational photography. Okay, to make this video a little more interesting, let's do it in the what gear style blind camera comparison format. One of these images was captured using the Teleconverter kit. The other is from the built-in periscope zoom on the Oppo Find X9 Pro. The focal length here is 230mm, aka 10x, which is the shortest available option when using the lens attachment. Now, before I tell you which is which, here are a few of my observations, and I'm sure you've noticed these too. The image on the left is significantly boosting the red tones, which you might not notice so much if it wasn't side by side with the other image, and you will notice it the most in the hedge in the foreground of the photo. While both images look decently sharp, it's only when you zoom into the focal point, which is the New York Hotel's replica of the Statue of Liberty, that you'll notice the details in the image on the right are much better and look far more natural. And this is probably due to the over sharpening of the details in the photo on the left. Okay, so I'm gonna start this timer up here at the top, and you've got 10 seconds to decide which is which. Okay, so if you guessed the image on the right is in fact the Teleconverter from Hasselblad, well, you would be right. And something you should know, because these photos were taken at 230mm, which is the natural focal length of the lens attachment, in that particular image, very little AI enhancements were required. Anyway, let's move on to picture number 2. This one was taken at the maximum focal length available on the Teleconverter, and I matched that with the in-camera periscope lens. And because we are going further than the natural focal length of the Hasselblad lens, the phone will actually use a kind of hybrid technique which combines the sensor crop, which we do see when using the regular built-in cameras, but also a tiny bit more post-processing than we saw on the 230mm focal length. So I'm sure you're noticing many visible differences here. And what you might have also noticed, there is in fact a considerable difference in the shutter speeds that are being used. And I'll explain why that is in a moment. But once again, here are your 10 seconds to decide which is which. So give it a go. Okay, so the image on the left is clearly more accurate and realistic. And yes, that is in fact the Hasselblad lens photo. Now, the reason why this particular photo was taken using a slower shutter speed, despite having bigger lenses and more glass, is actually down to the fact that it has more lenses. So the light needs to pass through these extra layers before hitting the sensor. Sometimes this is referred to as light tax. And on both phones, there's definitely some AI image stabilization required, and maybe even more so when using the Teleconverter. But regardless of this, the colors, the details, and the overall image is undoubtedly better in the photo on the left, taken with the Hasselblad lens. Okay, this will be the last photo of this replica Statue of Liberty in Las Vegas. This time, I was actually much closer to it. And again, it was taken at the 230mm focal length, aka 10x. So I'm sure this is going to be the easiest one for you to figure out. Much of what I said about the last two images also applies here. And there is actually a big giveaway as to which one's which. It'll be interesting to see if you spotted it. So let's start the timer and see if you get it right. So one of the first giveaways here is the amount of red tones in the image on the left. The one on the right, again, is far more accurate. And yes, that is the Teleconverter lens photo. And the dead giveaway that I mentioned was in fact the focal length. So if you spotted it, you'll notice I slightly overshot the 230mm focal length. And that's because the built-in periscope camera, when you're using the little slider, is kind of fiddly to get the exact 230mm focal length. So I overshot it a little bit and it's 233mm. And that's actually something you can't do when you're using the Hasselblad Teleconverter kit. It just locks in at those fixed focal lengths. Okay, here's another one. Although this is quite similar, there are a couple of things I want you guys to have a look at. The colors instantly might give this one away, but what I want to show you here on this replica Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas is the difference in shadow details. Take a look at these zoomed in elements and let me know what you think. So obviously, once again, color accuracy is a big win for the lens kit image. In terms of dynamic range, it's fair to say the lens also gives you a massive advantage in this area, with the shadow details looking way more detailed and way more natural. And overall, the lens has produced much better quality once again. Okay, this one is the last photo from Vegas, and it is the characters from the movie, The Wizard of Oz. I took this at the Venetian whilst I was walking through, and the lighting here wasn't quite as harsh as the other photos that you've seen so far. Now, something I want to draw your eye to here before you undoubtedly guess the correct one is this. Check out this incredibly sharp line right here. It's so sharp that it looks almost unnatural. Also, take a look at the massive difference in skin tones on Dorothy. So this one really should be a walk in the park for you guys to figure out, or should I say, a walk down the yellow brick road. Okay, here is a quick screen recording from my YouTube studio showing you what it actually looks like when you zoom in using the camera software whilst using the Teleconverter. But first I'll show you how it looks with just the regular built-in periscope zoom feature. Now this is the Teleconverter screen recording. So here are the three photos side by side. This scene was actually quite a bit darker than it looked like in the screen recording. And if you look at the details below the images, you'll notice that even though both phones used a pretty high ISO, which just to simplify for you is a digital brightness adjustment, there is far more noise as well as unnatural sharpening and smoothing in the image on the left. But what's interesting here is at a glance, some people might actually choose this photo on the left because it does look sharper and the image on the right looks quite soft. All right, now let me show you something particularly interesting. Here's a photo, 230mm focal length, aka 10x. Something interesting is happening here aside from the color differences that you'll instantly notice. Can you see it? So now let me zoom into 20x so I can show you this properly. This is a prime example of how AI can ruin small details in an image. The perforations on the back of these Sony open back headphones are in fact circular. And when you look at the image on the left, you can see that that is not the case. It's using an AI algorithm for pattern recognition, but it's completely got it wrong. And you'll also notice the over sharpening and smoothing AI algorithms have created this kind of oil painting effect on the vents right here. And also whilst doing this, it's eliminated the foam that exists behind the mesh, which you can see in the other photo. So yes, while the image on the left looks sharp and clear, the reality is it's not really real, if you know what I mean. So if you guessed the image on the right was the Teleconverter, yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, here is a photo of the Phantom Menace taken at the recommended safe distance of 10x. And here's what happens when AI is applied to living beings, in this case a pet. So again, you can see a significant amount of post-image processing happening here in the photo on the right, which actually looks kind of good. However, the AI has made her fur look a lot coarser than it actually is in real life. And see those white specks that kind of look like dust right here? Those are in fact actual hairs, but the AI has seen them as dust particles and made them look like that. Whereas on the other image, yes, it looks a bit softer, but that is way more true to life. And I do think, again, some people might be drawn to the image on the right just at a glance because of the sharpness, particularly around the eye details. But once again, you'll notice it's not really that lifelike when you put it under a microscope. Okay, here's a proper night shot of St. Paul's in London. I took this from London's Sky Garden through glass. So the AI approach when using periscope zoom may actually help clear up some of the details. Now, if you've been paying attention to my comments up until this point, I'm sure by now you will know instantly which one is which, but take a closer look anyway and let me know what you think. All right, so the image on the right is the clear winner. Better color, better details, and even the lens flares look nicer. And there's much better dynamic range here as well. You can see all of the shadow details, and you'll notice some areas in the other image where it looks a bit blocky, a bit smooth, and far less detailed. All right, one more night shot. This one is of the Tower of London. Of course, it's in London, and it's very much the same story here. And at this point, you should 100% know which one is which without even thinking. It's kind of crazy when you start to notice what AI is actually doing to some of the photos that you might be taking yourself. And for some people, it might go entirely unnoticed, but now you're not one of those people. And hopefully you'll appreciate the advantages that real lenses can offer versus the standard built-in smartphone cameras combined with computational AI photography. So next time someone tries to pass off an image to you and act like it's something that they've taken, you can be like,
let me see.
And call out the AI enhancements if you see them. Here's a question for you. Do you think the £200 for the Hasselblad Tele-Converter kit is worth it? In my personal opinion, I think it does depend on the type of photographer you are. If you're the type of person who only cares about using the zoom on your phone to read timetable boards at the airport and things like that, yeah, you should save the money. However, if you want to capture more artistic and lifelike photos and you really value natural colors and improved dynamic range, yeah, it could definitely be worth it for you. But then you've also got to consider the inconvenience of having to carry around this extra bit of kit. And I was personally thinking the whole time that I was using this, wouldn't it be amazing if Oppo could make a kind of telescopic version of this that could compact down when it's not in use? That would be awesome. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the results here. Did you learn something new about optical lenses versus computational photography? Or did you know exactly how this was going to play out from day one? Either way, let me know. Appreciate you guys for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, a little thumbs up would be appreciated. If you just subscribed, you are now one of the finest subscribers known to man. See you in the next one. Don't be late.